Australia, it's Monday morning, and while you might be at work, you might be on the way to work, this morning is a morning where your team has retained a trophy. They let one go 3 weeks ago in London, and you can continue to burn those deserved effigies in your club basements, in your apartment laundries. But on top of that, your biggest rival that sent us down to the colonies, which turned out to be a fucking oasis, are laughing while their number 11 is trying to reverse sweep on the way to a humiliating loss of 336 runs. It won't hide the fact that there's no fucking ozone layer above this thing, and it's the middle of winter, but you can be proud of your genetic freaks this morning, and that should make you feel pretty good while you're getting deep vein thrombosis on your swivel chair. Australia win by 133 runs. It's a fucking procession. My God, these bowlers make you feel safer than being on a flight pre-9/11, Pezza.
Same old reliable Australia. And you know...
Rolling around in shit here.
Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy it. The reliability of this cartel is something we're only going to properly appreciate when it's gone.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
277, could have bowled him out twice. and why do I feel like the Windies making 143 was like, are we starting to get long in the tooth?
Boys looking old.
I've always said the apex of any Australian sporting team is entitlement and boredom from the public. And that's exactly how I feel, particularly after witnessing Shoaib Bashir and the shit show that England has put up today with my own eyes. Mm-hmm. And you've got an iPhone 13 Pro leaning against the laptop screen on a VPN, and it's just blokes zeroing in at the stumps.
Yeah.
It's Shangri-La.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's relentless. It's ruthless. It's clinical.
Yeah.
It's the nation. It's the nation. It's the nation. It's 2-0 away.
Yeah.
Tests away from home are hard to win, generally speaking.
Yeah.
277 being set when you bowl them out for 143. Now our batting's looking okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if I'm going too far there,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, it's good times.
So this is the very end of day 4, and we really appreciate your appreciation for the value. But also, you know, this is 4 days of trying to cover 2 test matches at the same time. And let me tell you, the boys are providing absolute safety, and we appreciate your appreciation. We're moving to London tomorrow. As it was the end of day 5 today in the Birmingham Test match here at Edgbaston, but London tomorrow. But so the main podcast will be out on Tuesday night Australia time.
Yep.
I think it's going to be.
Yep.
Tomorrow
travel day.
Travel day.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's just a few logistics, but
pod's out Tuesday. Couple of guests might
don't worry about it.
Might titillate.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
It's a fickle game.
Depends where you're from.
It's a fickle old game, but, apologies for the value if you get them.
So Australia started the day with a lead of 254 runs. They added 22 in the morning session after some rain. The Windies ended up netting 277. Cummins was out in the first over. He was caught behind. Carey made 30 in the end. Not much else to report, to be honest. I made 22. And it felt very much like we're too good, get me out of here.
Yeah. Oh, Shamar Joseph took 4 for bowling 145k rockets, but I agree, nothing much to report.
Nothing much to report there, yeah. All the best. That felt all very
Nothing
cute.
much to report.
Yeah. Alex Carey is player of the match, 63 and 30, so that just shows the value of 93 runs in a game from one player.
Not something I understand being over here.
Yeah,
that's right. You need to make 200 to get people out of bed on these decks.
Shubman Gill made 450 plus runs in the game, and he was barely player of the match because the guy took 10 for.
I'm sorry to do a little parenthesis here, but we saw it in the flesh today briefly, and like the jaw and the gutters are
we didn't see the cum gutters.
Yeah, well,
we didn't see the cum gutters.
I had X-ray vision through the Olunian bird there, and
I closed my eyes. Don't worry about that.
Mate, in the flesh, it's next level. Now carry on. Carry on. Kerry made 93 over 2 innings. His player of the match. But yeah, looking forward to the Ashes.
Yeah, that's right. So let's get into the bowling innings. I'll just run through the wickets very quickly. So
Yeah, please, yeah.
So Hoff gets James.
Every single person had their front pad blown off or nicked.
Pretty much, yeah. So Hoff gets John Campbell's second ball of his first over, kept low, darted back. Hoff around the wicket to the lefty. JC took one with him, crashing to the top of leg, one for none.
Yes.
Kratz around the wicket to Casey Carty. Ball going up and down every delivery. Little into Carey. Glorious keeper's edge from behind, the camera angle from behind. That was good for me.
It was emotionally distant as well, by the way. The way he threw the ball in the air, then the sun got in his eyes. He was like, I'm not even interested in this.
2 for 15. Slug then gets Braithwaite to nibble that's Darryl Braithwaite, by the way, to nibble at one outside. Off on Slug's third bowl. He was bowling the 10th over. Kerry does the rest. He's batting in sunglasses, by the way. 3 for 29. Cummins gets Brandon King, our AUBK, with an absolute seed. Ends up being the last ball before lunch. Beaten all ends up off stump. 4 for 33.
4
That first session was 19.4 overs at lunch. 1 wicket for all of the 4 bowlers used.
Yeah, seven wickets in the session for 50 runs. Probably set the scene.
Yeah. That's well said. 5 for 71 was when Hazelwood gets Shea Hope to try and pull one, caught and bowled straight up the chute. Kratz gets Chase LBW around the wicket, just knocking the stumps, just nicking the stumps. Umpire's call 6 for 86. Kratz then gets JG LBW around the wicket, kept low, no review. Camera shows an old boy in the stands waving the Australian flag, no shirt, necktie. 7 for 99. Line then gets the last 3 wickets. Taylor teeing off. Wickets at 103, 131, 43.
Yep.
Looking at the bowling figures, Pezza. Kratz 3, Hoff 2, Cummins 1, Slug 1, Gaz 3. It's just like that is actually the story of this day, in that this bowling attack is so fucking good, and right now we need them. Let's be honest, we need them. And you rightly said at the top here that one day a time will come when these guys aren't playing all together, and we'll remember these dark days. Actually, sorry, these glorious sunshine days, and then those days will be dark days. There was a time, like at the end of the Ponting era, when the batting lineup included like Ponting, Clark, Hussey, and the bowling was like Siddle, Hilfenhaus, and Bollinger, thank you. And like those guys are all fine cricketers, but like bowling wins you championships. It really does. It wins you things, and like the batting lineup is doing enough at the moment.
Well, not the last World Test Championship.
There was that. I mean, in that instance, literally the batters of the captain and the opening batter won the thing. But this bowling lineup is just endlessly relentless. Like there is, like the runs that West Indies scored was more or less through boundaries, where they're just like, well, one's going to get me here, so I might as well slap a couple around and get a couple of boundaries. I mean, they scored most of their runs in boundaries. This bowling lineup, 3-2, 1-1-3. And it's like every time you see Australia win, it's more or less the same. Sometimes a guy will stand out and get a bag, like Rabada did in the World Test Championship final.
So harsh on Rabada. So many blokes who play cricket get bags.
I'm just talking about wickets.
So am I.
Yeah. And, you know, when I look at this, I'm just like, fucking hell, they are so good. And they're good for us. They're good for me. You know what I mean?
Mate. And the thing is, like Australians will wake up this morning. They might be waking up right now, like fix themselves a coffee, look at the scores, side-eye the scores, and go, that looks about right. And they'll make themselves a coffee, and like really we should be purring like cats in unison, Australians, like around the nation. But we won't, because it's our right, it's our entitlement.
Emotionally distant.
Yeah, and I like the lifting that the bowlers are doing for Australian cricket right now. Like for the, I'm not saying there's an abyss ahead of Australian cricket, but there's like four guys, the Cartel, if you include Lyon, who are like just keeping us away from the truth of like the fact that there's not a heap underneath. There's structural like dynamism in global cricket that mean like where Australian cricket isn't really like well set up. We've got guys in the test team who are trying to make their way as batters, who are going to be allowed to make their way because, I mean, Sam Constas, for example, he's played 4 tests for Australia and he's sung underneath the Southern Cross Ice stand 4 times. Wow.
My kingdom.
He is 4 from 4, Sam Constas, for a guy that everybody around the world, around the nation, you know, rural, remote, regional, city, metropolitan,
cities, suburbs,
out
metro,
of suburbs,
whatever,
you know,
latte, espresso,
great Sydney, Greater Sydney,
schooners, pints,
exactly,
minis.
schooners, pints, minis, pint. Yeah. Once, as I said, pints because there's, he sung the song 4 times.
Yeah.
The bowlers are good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's getting runs in games where like the opposition aren't getting as many. They are going to lift him and other people to their own test careers. The compounding interest of these bowlers is yet to be understood. The interest must be studied. You know what I mean?
Usman's averaging 20 in the series, and I think that's fucking amazing.
Usman's the best opener in the series.
I think those are incredible numbers.
Yeah.
4 digs, 80 runs. How does he do it?
Usman, eyes are painted on with Dulux, with the dog there.
Oil paint or acrylic paints.
Acrylic, the dog's there, Dulux, it's 1994.
Beautiful puppy.
But also, best opener in the series. Easily has the best handle on opening conditions.
100%.
So, but is that like, gee, the bowlers just bowl that channel?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mate, I think it's so unbecoming to speak as an Australian and suck off your own team. It's so I don't want them to relax. I don't want them to get comfortable. I don't want them to think that we're satisfied. We're never satisfied. I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. I'm moist. You know what I mean? I needed to change. But when you look at what's happening around the world,
speaking in a vibrato voice,
and I mean exactly what you think I'm saying. You think, geez, they're good. Yeah. Now, like
sometimes you have,
It's the ugly arrogance. It's the ugly arrogance which is so unbecoming, you know. And nobody in Australia wants you to say nice things about your friends or people succeeding in life. You know, tall poppy stuff. I'm looking at this lineup and I'm thinking this is some of the greatest cricket that's ever been played in the 150 fucking years it's ever been played, and we're never happy. We're never satisfied, and for good reason. Because how the fuck did they make 130?
It's symbiotic.
Yeah,
the great bowling is built on that attitude.
Exactly.
That it's never enough.
It's nasty. It's ugly. It's arrogant. You know, we're here as visitors in this country on a working visa.
I made the mistake of questioning these bowlers after the World Test Championship final where they couldn't do it once.
Yeah.
And then I came over here 12 days later, riddled with jet lag and guilt for being away from my family. And then I've had a look at what's on offer here and I think, I'm so sorry.
Baby, take me back.
Please.
I'm sorry, baby. I didn't mean that. I'm just scared. Scared of being a nobody.
Like, it's not often you just... 277, historically, you shouldn't be able to defend it. But, like, the arrogance with which we both watched that on landscape iPhone 13s leaning up against our laptops. Pro. English journos walking past going, you win that. Just barely looking at them going like, I know.
Yeah.
That is a credit to the cartel.
Yeah.
Who get it done.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, well done, Alex Carey. 90 runs in 2 digs. I think it's tough to bat.
Yeah.
Once again, any danger of the sticks, just a couple of gigs on AstroTurf for those guys. I reckon just to play freely.
Yeah. Do you remember like when the academy started creating pitches that were supposed to replicate India, and they were making like clay-based decks in like northern Queensland and stuff? Could they just get a couple of like concrete pitches, like somewhere in Townsville, you know? Just for a week of training, a week of throwdowns. I mean, it's actually not relevant because that's what they're getting here, and that is no preparation for the Ashes, let me tell you.
Well, they had one day today, England, where the deck started doing something and the whole game changed. But
it was very much struggle street. So Bo Webster takes another contribution, and I think for me, he's got to go. Yeah, how do we get someone else in? You know?
I feel so sorry for Slug having to average 50 soon to keep his spot when no one else can score a run.
Was also, by the way, conducting an interview post play in leather Crocs.
He's doing his best. I mean, as a guy come in, just going like, all right. For me, Here's the question for the Ashes. If you just compare the pair, as the ad goes.
Okay.
Slug versus Stokes. Have a look at the numbers.
Holy
I know
shit.
where I'm going.
Holy shit.
Slug v Stokes.
Okay, so there's nearing, there's Prada sunglasses, now leather Crocs into the equation. There's grippers,
There's leather
there's
Crocs.
runs,
I'm
there's
I'm
poles.
averaging 45. I'm nicking blokes off first over, nibbling it away. My body works.
His nickname's based after a penis. What? I mean, is
He's
he?
going to say, what more do I have to give?
Is he batting six or is he Prime Minister? That's the big question here.
Seriously.
Bo Webster, my God, what an introduction. Okay. So that's what's happened in the game. So I've written down here, Pezza, tell us how to feel. You know, people are obviously looking at this game. They're very much like just waking up to these scores. You know, these games are played over the weekends. The footy's on. Voss, should he go? Swans knocking over Palestine Pierce. That's what we're looking at here. You know, what more needs to be said?
Australia. Oh, go on.
This is all in context of these series running. You know, our greatest rivals running parallel with these series. You know, has the loss in Birmingham today for England, have they figured out what that means for the World Test Championship? Have they figured out what that actually is? You know, what does it mean when Boomer comes back? You know, I'm looking at like these are the last. The next Test match that Australia plays is the last Test before they play the first Test match of the Ashes in 5 months' time. England don't play again before the Ashes after the end of their series. They got 3 more tests, of course. So, you know, all of this is in the context of the thing that we care about the absolute most. It's going to be absolute battle stations, you know, battle lines drawn up for the next 6 months. It's going to be fucking exhausting. So you got to take the wins when you get them. Now, if you wake up in the morning in Australia and you haven't seen a ball bowl, but you're looking at the numbers, you are perfectly entitled to make some assumptions about who should bat where and what all this means. It's our responsibility to inform these people how they should feel. And I think right now they should feel fucking pretty horny.
Yeah, I like where you're coming from, and I think that's very logical. However, I also believe that Australians, to go a step further than that, should feel disengaged. That's what I'm calling on all Australians to continue to watch Australian rules football and rugby league to a lesser extent.
That's
Seriously.
a great shout.
You know what I'm saying?
Great shout, yeah.
I think that is the mood of the nation. I think most people in Australia wake up, they might see a flicker of a highlight on Fox Sports and go, someone says something insane, England's lost by 330 runs, and the Cartel's just bowled channels where now we've got the Frank Worrell Trophy again.
Yeah.
You know, and that's it. And then I just want to go back to, you know, big footy message boards, SEN, Channel 7, Volcano Stuff, Sunday Footy Feast, whatever it is. I just want to, like, I'm jumping on Instagram, I'm jumping on TikTok. Maybe I'll have a look at Facebook again, and just I'll scroll through, see some unbelievable comments from people vis-a-vis footy, and like that's. I know Cricket Australia doesn't want that from a commercial perspective, but that's the gift of Australian cricket, is that you don't have to think about it for a long time. And then whatever happens in the next 3 tests, it's been a 6-pointer for Australia today. Like, don't get me wrong.
Proverbial 6-pointer?
Yes.
Are you talking about the proverbial 6-pointer, Pezza?
Yeah, sorry.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, that's right. It has. It's a clinical win for Australia and a humiliating loss for England. You don't get that every day, especially if you're sitting in an England game. I mean, it was hard to. Yeah, it's all right. We were doing well, but like that'll flip around. Australia's going to have some bad times. There's a pink baller coming up. Anything could happen. England could do well at Lords. You know, it doesn't really matter. What Australians need to do is to ignore everything and then come around like October, November, be dog whistled by members of the press to enjoy the Ashes around colonial imperialist lines and expect nothing other than like and to produce nothing other than a nasty, abusive welcome for our guests from England, many of whom are our friends and the players are good people, but that's just the pantomime that we... that's the way we enjoy it over the 4 weeks of Australian cricket. The 28 days.
Totally. Great
band as well. Rip it up.
Right, let's do our CDC before we wrap this bad boy up and ship it on down south to London. Higgins Dream It Bounce Sing says Piastri robbed. Haven't caught the action over there at Silverstone.
He hasn't.
Trent, you seen anything? You seen anything at?
Pretty dodgy 10-second penalty.
10-second penalty.
I read that it was.
Rothenberg first podium in a 40
And what does that mean for the leaderboard? For
Hulkenberg.
Piastri, yeah.
Shortens to about 8 points.
Okay, so not a good day for
Norris won.
Okay.
Norris won. Okay, interesting.
Okay.
Interesting times ahead. Okay. Charlie's Superiority Complex says Australia A versus Sri Lanka A daily when. So Sri Lanka A won in Darwin, so we won't be covering that game at all.
Was it a white ball game?
It was a white ball game. I
Next,
think, yeah.
let's go.
Yep. Bingers Pingers, how are you, Bingers Pingers? Said Cam Green, Bo Webster have the numbers 42 and 21 respectively. Factors of each other and also factors of 7, which is about how tall they are. Yeah.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
So,
these types of days can do this to people. They can start ticking people off.
Yeah, that's right. And this is a Monday, remember that. So Andrew Apay Pig on a walkabout said all is right in the world. Jeff Thompson's 10 a.m. schooner said so 4 or 5-0 for the Ashes. And I do like that the entire conversation this far out, which I feel like we have contributed to with a couple of catchphrases over the years, where nothing can ever really be sort of 3-1, 4-1, 2-2. Like it's really at the beginning of the Test match. People were coming up to us and just telling us, we were just sitting in chairs and saying like, we're going to beat you 5-0, and now that England's lost and Australia's won. Now, I guess the riposte would have to be that no, we're going to beat you. Like nothing can just be competitive. It's just got to be absolute, total annihilation, demolition.
I think both teams. England are a castle built on sand, but sometimes sand castles are good. Has the castle got water in it? And am I enjoying it? Are my family together? Are we having a nice day at the beach? It's a fucking wonderful sandcastle, and I remember it forever.
Yeah.
Other times, not so much water inside the sand, inside the castle, built on sand. Kick it over. My sister does that.
A couple of great comments here, Pezza. Ravindra Fantasia said, "Should I care about this?" That's the perfect summation of what you were talking about. Yeah. Are you tuning in? Fox Sports News.
That's how good Australia's going. Don't tune in.
Yeah.
Seriously, don't listen.
Jelks Callis said, "Is that some hair I see on Cam Green's forearms?"
Interesting. Yeah, well, I think that's the big takeaway from this game.
Yep.
Yeah, I think he's grown some.
Ladies and girlfriends said, rest a bowler or keep Cartel safety. Oh, third test, rest a bowler.
Oh, now resting bowling.
Okay.
So
it is
I'm starting to wake up for this.
It is.
I don't mind that.
You did perk up.
Yeah.
So Kratz is on 99 tests. It's a pink ball test next test match.
Let's get Kratz and Scotty Boland a game. And let's have it done in two to 3 days.
He's half resting?
Yeah.
What for? I mean, this is the last test.
Just let him go, mate. Just give him a spell.
They play till Saturday.
Yeah.
Just give guys a rest.
Spell. But they won't. They won't.
No, they won't.
Play.
Edge in the slips. Guinness, how much? Enough. 2-piece Red King Willy bin shit. Ignore my previous post. This is safety. Kratz, Gaz, Slugs, massive mitts. Just enough tism runs. Safety. I think actually is.
Is safety restored post World Test Championship? Like, are we just now saying South Africa got to bat on a decent day 3?
Conditions, yeah. It was a conditions-based wicket.
Conditions-based wicket.
Yeah. I think that's...
Batter's no good. Could have engineered it better, but
Yeah.
bowlers couldn't get it done on, a pancake.
Yeah. And Diagnosis says, is there cricket on? I think that's, again,
that's the view.
And that's someone that is literally paying money to a cricket podcast.
And then jumping onto a chat and typing
live.
keys.
Yeah, live. It's saying,
and reviewing it, drafting it, and going, is there cricket on? That's the view.
And that's the great foxing act that we all play here. Thank you for joining us here on TGC for the last 4 days, over the last 8 or 10 shows. We'll be back for the main podcast on Tuesday, so tune in then. If you want to, or if not, don't worry about it. But Pezza, it's been great to be here in Birmingham. Great to be back in London tomorrow, I'm going to guess. Bit of warm weather, not bad as well. So Sammy Consa, sun's out, guns out kind of vibe, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, something to think about. Trent, you having a good time?
Oh, he's brushed you there.
The best.
I mean, to be fair, I've asked you a question, you haven't got a microphone, so what am I expecting?
Yeah.
Trent's having a good time. And I will be speaking on behalf of him. So we'll see you guys later on the internet. Goodbye.